Well, welcome to this latest episode of the podcast, where Tim and I are going to talk you through what we're proposing to do with the 90-Day Accelerator, our book club idea around the Transformational Leaders Body of Knowledge. So welcome, Tim. Great to see you again today. Just as an introduction, tell me a little bit about what you're looking forward to about the next 90 days and the process that we're going to go through.
Oh, Tony, thank you for inviting me along to this and great to be a part of this. I have to say, I've attended lots of webinars in the past where somebody will espouse their latest theory. And I often find myself sitting there frustrated going, yeah, but that's not going to work in these circumstances. And actually, what's really great about this approach is there isn't a one size fits all. We're not actually selling a formula. We're exploring possibilities, options, considerations, and factors. Between the two of us, we have a lot of differing experience in different industries. And I think that itself is really interesting. What can really work well in one industry because that's what it's used to, that's the way things are done around here, can be seen as transformative if applied a different way in a different sector. And then, of course, we've got the audience, those who help volunteering, participating, taking part, throwing forward their challenges. So again, it's not a theoretical, well, this is what the book says. We literally will explore challenges of change, of transformational change. And because it's a program, week by week, we can see these things map out. So it really is an opportunity to test the theory, put it into practice, and really help organizations succeed.
Yeah, I think it will be a really interesting process. I put a post out this morning on LinkedIn, and the headline was, "Do you ever have you ever read a book that you wanted to ask the author a question about what you've just read?" And that's it's a real opportunity to do that, but not just get the response from the author, get the response from the group of people that are involved in the process alongside you. And I think that's so valuable that you can make it really tangible to the challenges that you're facing now. And one of the things that we're exploring, and whether or not we get any volunteers for this, but it'd be really good if the attendees can come with specific challenges they're facing then, and we can map it out. We can workshop it out live in an environment that says, okay, the book says this, or the best practice says this, but how do you apply that within your day-to-day activity now to hit and meet that challenge that you're facing at the moment? So it should be really tangible outcomes for people. And equally, by listening and getting involved in those discussions, you'll be able to pick some nuggets up that you can apply to your day-to-day activities moving forward as well.
I think the other real benefit of this is, people won't be coming to this empty-headed. They're not necessarily coming to learn something they've never thought of before. Sometimes it's a really good to have a safe environment where you can test out your own ideas. You don't have to accept Tony's experience or mine. You can literally map out yours and say, I'm going to try this. I'd like to rehearse it with you, see how it lands. What's your response? Because very often as leaders, we have the gut feeling of what is right, but we don't actually have the opportunity sometimes to practice that before we go live.
Yeah, and I think just in terms of the practicalities, just to explain what we're trying to do here, we're going to run a session every week to 2 weeks over the next 90 days between now and Christmas. And each session will focus upon one pillar of the Transformation Leaders Body of Knowledge. But we were just having a discussion before we went live in terms of the timing. So we've come to the conclusion that we're going to do it in the evening. So the first couple will start at 7 p.m. UK time. But if the cohort decide that that's better to do it earlier, then we'll change the later ones. But 7 p.m. is the start time for the first couple at least. And as I said, we'll go into detail on each pillow for maybe 15, 20 minutes as a general discussion between Tim and I, and then we'll open it up. And the rest of the session will all be answering questions, talking about those experiences, discussing key elements of that pillar and how it fits into the overall world of transformation. At the end of each session, you'll get some homework. And that homework will be to read and think about the next pillar that we're going to cover in the next session. And because we want you to come, or we want you to come with ideas, we want you to come with your experiences, we want you to come with your challenges. And what we'll try to do then in the next session is structure our initial discussion around those particular subject areas.
I think one of the great advantages of this, of course, is that we'll start spotting themes. It has to be said that themes do exist in any genre, in any period. And that's very often how books get written. They explore those themes. And if we look at how the world is now, and clearly one of the themes may well emerge as a discussion around AI. It may be discussions around transformation in terms of technology, people, processes, working practices. And so as we collaborate with many different people, we'll start to see those patterns emerge. And one of the things that we are looking forward to doing is also publishing notes. I wouldn't necessarily say white papers, but certainly notes that summarize the key findings of the collective, because somebody working geographically different area or a different industry sector may actually have insights that are really useful for what you're doing right now.
Yeah, it's important to note also, isn't it, Tim, that although we will, all the session will be recorded, all we will release into the public domain is the interaction that Tim had at the start of each session. The discussion elements will be private, they'll be held and recorded and published within the Transformational Leaders Hub, that only members of the hub have access to, and this cohort. So what we want to do there is create that environment where Chatham House rules exist. So if you're free to open up, you're free to talk about specific issues in the knowledge that it's not going out into the public domain.
And I think this psychological safety is absolutely crucial to being able to change, to explore ideas, maybe even test out ideas you're not 100% confident of. So you can rehearse things and go, actually, no, I'm going to do something different now. So you're not glued to anything. There's flexibility, there's innovation, there's different thinking, there's challenge, there's debate, there's everything for you in a safe environment.
Yeah, and the second part about those recordings, they're there for you to go back to and listen to, so that you might not be experiencing a particular issue or challenge at the moment on a particular area, but you might do in future. But they're always there that you can come back to. You can refresh your knowledge and experience through listening to and watching the recordings. So with that, let's bring this brief podcast to a close. If you haven't already signed up, use the links that you'll have in the show notes or beneath the video. Get signing up. The first session kicks off on the 24th of September, just next week. And as I say, we've got a schedule of activities, a schedule of sessions, should I say, between now and Christmas. So hopefully we'll see you on the 24th.
And if you can't make the 24th, because we are recording them, please do join when you can. And you get to join in and see all the recordings of any episodes that you have missed. But if you join right at the beginning, you obviously have the opportunity to shape the debate and really get from this great opportunity what you need to help with your transformation.
Brilliant, Tim. Thank you very much. Look forward to kicking these off next week with you.
Likewise. I look forward to seeing you all.